Alright guys, welcome to Reckless Ranch in Hastings Tire, Hastings Family Ranch, all of the above. I do a lot of different stuff. So we ride side-by-sides, do ridiculous stuff, do farm stuff, and I also run a tire business. And part of the tire business I run, most of the time tires aren't that exciting, right? It's just tires and whatnot, but I also do a lot of lifts. And so I figured I would start including some of those in some videos too. So today I have a 2-inch front and rear lift on a 5th gen 4Runner. It's a pretty basic lift kit. It's a spacer that goes on top of the strut in the front, and then a spacer that goes on top of the rear coil spring. But I'll bring you guys along, show you what we're dealing with, in case anyone else has one of these and they're kind of curious of what it entails to lift one of them. So anyway, we'll see you. Alright, so we got it up on jack stands here on both sides. I don't like to do any lifts just with the jacks. If we were just doing tires, I would just use jacks. But when I'm in here reefing on stuff a little bit, I like to have something a little more stable like that. But this is a quick look at the suspension. I'll show you what we're going to do, and then I'll put you on time lapse while you watch me take it apart. So this right here obviously is the strut. I'll go grab the box here in a second and show you what we're going to do. But we got to take the control arm apart, and take this little keeper out of here, and this little bolt sway bar has to come off, and then this whole arm will come out and fall down, and it'll let you have enough room to get the strut out of there. Because what we're going to do is take this bottom bolt out down here, and these 3 bolts out on the top up here, and take the whole strut out, and you're just going to bolt a spacer on the top of it onto these 3 bolts. So these 3 bolts up here will go onto the spacer, and then there's 3 studs on the spacer that'll go back up into that spot, and it'll just basically push the suspension down a little bit more. But let's take a look at what's inside this box too before we get too crazy. All right, so this is a customer supplied lift kit. I did not purchase this, but it looks like, you can tell from the paperwork here, it looks like a Rough Country. It is. All right, so there we go. Ooh, this could be a problem though. It says 2003 to 2009 4Runner, and that is not 2003 to 2009 4Runner. I'll have to take a look here and see what we got. This could be a short video. Stay tuned. Alright, so I did a little investigative work. I think they put the wrong instructions in there. So on the end of the box, we have Rough Country 764, and I cross-referenced that on my phone, and it says 2-inch suspension lift for 2010 through 2019 Toyota 4Runner. So, Rough Country is a good deal, but sometimes this is the kind of stuff you run into with them. Luckily, I already know how it all goes together. I wouldn't have torn it apart if that cross-reference didn't come back good, but it looks like they just put the wrong instructions in there, or maybe the instructions are somewhat universal between the years. So I'm going to take one strut out and see make sure that those are the right parts. Someone didn't stick the wrong sticker on the wrong box. So we'll see. Stay tuned. I'm going to put you on time lapse while I tear into this passenger side, and hopefully you guys can get a glimpse of what it takes to get Leveling Kit in one of these. Alright, so here's the update that I totally forgot about. So when we were talking about this earlier, you guys got a little junk on you, let me clean you. So I forgot about earlier is that you have to take the tie rod end off as well, off the hub there. Forgot about that. And the other thing I forgot about is that you need to take the sway bar end link off the other side. When to go do that, the sway bar end link is hitting this on the opposite side. So I gotta take the other side apart too to get it all the way out. But I'm gonna go do that real quick and then I'll be right back, all right? All right, I got the other side back apart, and took the knuckle off, release the pressure off of that. And unfortunately, you had to do that to get this. I mean, I guess you could have taken the other part of the sway bar and link off, but it's just another step you don't need to do because you already need to do these steps anyway. So for the purpose of the video, it didn't work that great, but make sure you have to take off both sway bar end links and the knuckle to get this to, look at this, magically swing up and make room. So make room, pull like that, and just like magic, you pull your strut out. There we go. We're off to the races now. I will, let me go grab one of those spacers. So here's one of the spacers. This will be the Tall Tale sign from Rough Country here. You can see they etched a little RC in it. Fancy, fancy. And we'll see. Look at that. Oh, yep, there we go. So it's just like that. It just slides on. Bolt those back down. I put thread lock and everything, so I'm gonna put this back on time lapse while I'm putting it back in there. One thing to note you might see in the time lapse as well is that to account for this extra space here going up in there, sometimes you have to put a pry bar on the bottom control arm just to make it flex enough. And make sure you're also taking off these ABS and brake line bolts when you're doing it, because if you don't and you're stressing this out, you can easily pull the wires in here, break one of your brake lines, and have a big issue on your hands that you don't want to deal with. So I'll put you guys back on time lapse, bolt this back together, and then I'll do the other side, and then we'll go and I'll just show you what one of the backs look like as well, and that'll be the end of the video. But anyway, we'll see ya. Alright, just like that. I know this music's gonna, in the background's probably gonna make a big old stink on YouTube, but whatever. I'm not monetized anyway. I'm up to 49 subscribers though, and so thank you for that. I appreciate it. It's pretty small, but of a subscriber list, but hey, I appreciate it. It's sweet. It means that somebody likes what they're watching, maybe. I don't know. So anyway, this is installed. So here you go, you see your spacer up top. 3 little bolts up there. Bolt down here. And the passenger side front leveling kit is installed on this. We'll bolt it all back together. I gotta do the other side too. And then we'll move to the back. We'll see you back there. All right, we're done with the front. It is leveled. I don't know if you can tell a difference, but of course it's a little bit off right now. But the front is done, all torqued up, good to go. So now we're on to the back. And if my memory serves me correctly, I've done a couple of these now, but you know, as time goes on, you kind of forget a little bit of the movements. But you got to take this bolt off. I don't know if you can see that if the light's working right. Yeah, so on this bottom shock, you got to take that bolt off. And if I remember correctly, you got to take either that or that off of the sway bar end link, one or the other. And then you can lower the axle down, and where that little spacer is, I'll go show it to you in a second. It goes and it sits up on top, up there. There's a little hole that it bolt goes through, and this is just a little one. It's like a little 1-inch spacer that sits up in there. It looks like this guy over here. There's our little hardware. So these are those little bolts I was just talking about, little bolt and nut kit. And then this sits up in there like that, and the coil spring sits on that little retainer there. And otherwise, that's it. We're good to go. But I will put you guys on time lapse back here and let you see me fumble all over myself. All right. that's it. We are all done with the 4Runner. I'll take some pictures and put them in here in a second so you can see. It's a little dark now, so bear with me, but went together pretty smoothly. Looks like the car may have had a little bit of rust. I'm suspecting it might have came from back east or something, but otherwise all pretty smooth, pretty easy deal. I mean, this is something anybody could do in their garage if you have a jack and some jack stands. I used a small amount of power tools, but if you saw any of that, a good portion of it was just regular hand tools, wrenches, and stuff like that. So anyway, thanks for checking it out.
Cut.